Hello, everyone, and welcome to your remote healing subscription. We have quite a good day today. It is the 8th of the 8th. So we've got the 8-8 portal. Happy Lionsgate, everyone. This is usually quite a big portal of the year. This is the time when Sirius lines up nicely. And so we've got this we call it the Lionsgate or the 8-8 portal. So 8 is associated with wealth and abundance. And so usually the 8-8 is if we set our intentions right, it's normally a good time to really pave the way for the rest of the year and also for the year to come. So sort of 8-8 through to 8-8 again. Um, I know last year we had quite a crazy, mad 8-8 celebration. Um, yeah, I know a lot of people who actually got physically ill last year after the 8-8 with just a purge and a cleaning out. Hopefully this year will not be that like that. It does feel like it's a bit lighter this year around. But let's get into your healing session for today. So in the last session, we worked with the base chakra, and I'm just taking it up to the next level. We're going up to the sacral chakra. So where the base chakra focuses more on physicality and the physical body, the sacral chakra takes it up a little bit of a frequency notch and takes it over to the emotional levels. It's to flow and just like general flow in life. It's associated with the water element. And so we see it as the waters, your own waters, and we know that more than like 80% or something of your body is water. So we're looking at the flow and just general emotional well-being of the body. As with the last session, I've done a lot of the prep work and a lot of the work beforehand, before actually recording this video. So hopefully we can keep the video short and you can still receive all of the healing. I'm going to share a screen with you, and then we're going to start with a quick little tune in. Okay, so I want you to just get comfortable and just sit back and find a comfortable position. Take a few slow, deep breaths in and just stare or look at the light code that we have in front of us today. And what I'm going to do in future is I'm going to use this as our tune in code. So I channeled this one through today, and this will be our standard hello and welcome light code that we use. So if you want to perhaps trace with your eye, start on one side, and there's no right or wrong answer here. Maybe start here, and then just with your eyes, trace that pathway in any speed that feels comfortable for you. Or you can start over here. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way, so you can start either way. Or perhaps you want to start in the center and just spiral out and then follow that path. Or you want to and then come back and then spiral out. So however it is, maybe your eyes bounce around between the little dots and the patterns that's here. Or maybe you feel more drawn to this little symbol over here on the side. Whatever it may be, just allow your eyes to rest on this. Stare at the image. No need to understand it or interpret it. No need to know what it means. And take a moment to set your intention for today's healing session. What is it that you want to receive in today's session? And if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. But just take a moment to anchor in and to think about what it is that you want to achieve today, what it is that you want to receive in today's healing session. Remember, there's no time or space. So if you come back at any time in the future to watch this video, perhaps a second or a third or fourth time, you can set new intentions for this. And you can dive in and do the work. Drop into your heart space and just feel what it feels like there. Imagine you are dropping your intention into your heart space as well. And then send a connection from your heart to the heart of this symbol in front of you. from your heart, send a connection down into the heart of the earth to anchor the work. So feeling the connection between your heart and the symbol, as well as between the earth. Also send a connection from your heart to the heart of all that is, or source, God, this great central sun, whatever is appropriate for you. So you now have this three-way connection, and knowing that everybody else in this group receiving healing today are also connected in this beautiful geometry. If you need a bit more time to set your intention and to tune in, feel free to pause. So for today's session, I checked through to see what we needed to focus on, and what came through was a tree of life balance. Tree of life balances usually come up when we're looking at something a little bit more on an emotional level, so emotional stuff. Last time we had a circle balance. So when we've got the tree of life, it's sort of mentally emotional stuff that we're clearing, and we want to get ready for what is to come. Before we go into the details of this, let me just quickly just set the stage for what else came up before I got to that. So with your intention, whatever your intention may have been, the emotion that came up today is stabbed, as in taking a knife to the body, somewhere being stabbed, and it's in relation to principles. And the dimension where this is sitting is on miasms. Now, miasms is usually genetic stuff. This is stuff that connects us to our genetic lineage. So we see it as a stain on the DNA. So whatever is coming up here today, stabbed in relation to principles, most likely is not yours. You may on some level feel that you are stabbed in relation to principles, whatever that may mean for you. Just see if you can get a meaning for that. How does the word, what does it conjure up for you? What sense or feeling comes up when you hear the word stabbed and principles? If you feel that it's not directly related to where you are, it could be that it is from your genetic lineage. If you feel that it is connected to you, it may still be from the genetic lineage, and we are going to clear that today. Okay, so now we're going to look at what is happening here in the Tree of Life. So what we have, first of all, is in the crown position over here, we have Ren, which is the true name. Now, as I've mentioned before, I'm using the Barkar cards, or it's the Wands of Horus cards. These are development by myself, so I've developed these systems based on orgonite, tachyons, magnetic research, radiesthesia, sacred geometry, and ancient Egyptian background knowledge as well. So it's a whole mishmash of things. So let's just grab one of these cards. They're very thin, but they contain a magnet and 3 layers of the orgonite. And then we've got obviously the front and the back of these cards, so they can give and receive. And they are then energized in a 0-point machine so that they can give an extra boost of energy. Each card has a different combination of chips within it. So the different orgonite chip that it has within. Okay, so the Ren card, your true name. In ancient Egypt, they believed that when you were born, you were given a name which was known to everyone, and you were given a name that was only known to your parents and the priest. And that was your secret name. They believed that if anybody knew your secret name, they could control you. So that's why it was only given to the parents and to the priest. So that was a secret name. You also had your nicknames, you had different types of names. In Egypt, if you had, let's say, for example, a mug, and you had the word for the mug written down, and you said the word mug out loud, they saw all 3 of those as exactly the same thing. So whether you said the word mug, you wrote the word mug, or you actually held a mug up, or maybe even if you visualized a mug, they saw all of those as the same thing. So when we come here in the crown, we're talking about your true name. We're talking about your true spiritual name, who you are, where you're coming from, and who you are all about. So this is where our beginning point is. Our wisdom point here is the spiritual body, or the judge. We call it the Sahu. And the Sahu isn't another part of our usual spirit body that we have, and sometimes referred to as the ghost. And so our wisdom here comes from our inner judge, how we do our own inner judgment. Now, when we're talking about judgment, we don't really want to judge who and what we are. But our wisdom here comes from the fact that we can judge. And if we do it in a compassionate way and look at our issues and situations in a compassionate way, and as a judge, weigh up all the options, then it can be really healthy for us. Our understanding that we come to is the Radiance card. And so this is all about bringing a brilliance in, radiant joy. It's about removing darkness and heaviness and also depression. So as we move into our understanding of who we are, that lifts us out of that depression and sadness, and it infuses us with joy. Our knowledge card is the Chet, and that's known as the buckle of Isis. It's associated with protection. So that's a good one to have over there. And then we move down to the Mercy position. Mercy is the breath card over there. So to be, I would say, compassionate to ourselves, we need to do more focused breathing. So coming back into our breath and focus on our breath. We then go over to the strength section, which is Ib, which is associated, that's called the heart card. That's our strength sector. And so the heart is really allowing us, reminding us to drop back into our heart space, to be true and to be real from the heart. Our equilibrium point over here is the water card, the icosahedron. And so to bring equilibrium back is to actually come back to the water. So remember, our session today is the sacral chakra. So water is actually our equilibrium point that we have here. This is about really balancing emotions like hope and fear. It's to take all of the polarities that we have and to bring them together into equilibrium, so that they can flow well and in the right direction. Takes us through to our victory, and the victory is the Shuyet. Now, Shuyet is the shadow aspect. Now, shadow here is our own shadows, our shadow selves, because we always have a good side and a bad side. Now, here it's about integrating the shadow, because if we hide from the shadow, we actually miss out on quite a bit. So that's our victory. This is how we're going to achieve victory in this session and also in life. And yeah, you'll see now this actually ties in beautifully with our balance that we have today. We then move over into the glory section, and the glory is the octahedron, and it's associated with air. And so air is all about contracting and moving inwards. It's also to balance. It's about bringing balance, about justice and injustice. Now, this could be about yourself as well. Tact and tactlessness. I know I don't always have the tact, so I just say things as is. So air is really here to bring us that tact and tactlessness, balance, precision, imprecision, righteousness, and so forth. So it's all about self-expression, but doing it in a very healthy and grounded and good way. Okay, so then we go down to our foundation, and this is Shin, which is associated with eternity, and it's also associated with protection to some degree, so it ties in with the Chet that we have over there. And it's interesting that we've got both protection signs on either side of the water. So that I find quite interesting there. But Shin is also about remaining calm and centered, even if we are in times of chaos or upheaval. So it really is associated with eternity and infinity. And then for the kingdom, for the final one, and you'll see I've got our tune in light code there as well. And I've got another card in the background, but you won't see that one. But there is another one there. But this one that's on top is our receive card, and it's really to be open to receive the balance for today. And just to give an idea, these to get these cards in their positions, I literally put all 27 out in front of me, and I dowse. I check with the pendulum to see which one goes where. I don't analyze. I don't think about it. I don't think about what position goes where or what the cards mean. I literally almost like I don't even look at the cards. I literally just tap tap tap, and I go, okay, this one goes there. Tap tap tap. That one goes there. And my analysis I do now as I'm sitting with you guys. So I did not sit and think about what each of these things mean before we actually do the balance itself. So yeah, quite nice to see how they come up there. Then we have I then drew the soul plan cards to see what our balance will be for today. So what is our polarity and our separation? So polarity card is the 2-2, and our separation card is 3-3. So the 2-2 is all about wisdom and folly. So making mistakes. It's about being the fool. It's about being the wise one. It's really about anything that comes from whether it's a conscious level or even an unconscious level, things that we are perhaps like we can see it consciously, but we don't understand it, or other way around, we don't understand it, but we can see it. So it's all these different levels and layers about consciousness, unconsciousness, understanding, seeing, and things like that. The 2-2 in the polarity could be oversensitive. So it's very strongly associated with emotions. And so the 2-2 can struggle to bounce back from emotional upsets and things like that. So yeah, and then when that happens, then like there's a lack of objectivity and you end up making wrong decisions. So you can see how the sacral chakra, the sort of the tree of life that we have, ties in really beautifully with what we have today, what we're working with in the polarity level with this number 2-2. The separation that we have, so when we've got 2 combined with 3 as a separation, what it does is it creates a separation of fear of exposure. And so this could be about fear of being caught out. And this is whether there are real lies, or maybe it's not even. Some people have imposter syndrome. So you are feeling like you are a lie. You're feeling like you do not fit in. And as such, you are afraid of being exposed. Usually what I find when imposter syndrome comes up for clients, and I see this all the time in my clients' lives, is that they're actually highly intelligent and usually very successful. And yet there is it's almost like whatever they do comes so easy and so naturally because they are passionate about it and they love what they do. But because it comes so easy and so natural for them, they feel that it's too easy and somehow they're going to be caught out. Some people are going to find out they're a fraud, and yeah, and then that is something that sits in the background. It can sabotage you. And usually when these people come in with imposter syndrome, it is really successful people, and yeah, I normally look up to these people, and yet in their mind they don't see that. So this is what we are dealing with today. So we've got that 2-2 and 3-3 cards, just if you wanted to get a little bit of a closer look at each of them. So as I'd mentioned, 2-2 is our emotional resilience. It's our ability to bounce back. In the polarity section, it actually struggles with that. We've also got another polarity card for our separation. Now the 3-3 is also about communication. It's about art and expression. And it's about setting healthy boundaries, about allowing people in who you want to allow in. So what I've done is I've got them here right next to me so I can do some energetic work on them as we work through the process as well. On the polarity card, I've placed the divine masculine card, And on the separation, I have placed the divine feminine card. So I put divine masculine, divine feminine, and then behind this one, at the bottom of the stack, I've got the divine child. And so this is just a way to hold our balance as we are going to progress through the work. Okay, so our work that we're going to have to do here is some archetype work and shadow work. So we are going to be playing some parts here with our archetypes. So again, just coming to your alignment with what your intention was for today's session. And what I need to do is I need to quickly draw a card. So I'm actually going to just quickly pause. I forgot to draw this card, so I'm going to do that in a moment. So I'm going to just let me get in here and pause quick. Back. Okay, so the card that I drew is 21-3. So this is going to be our archetype that we're going to be working with. Okay, so let's quickly just share screen again back to there. Okay, so our archetype that we're working with today, or the archetypes we are going to be working with, is going to be the victim and eternal love. So victim is the negative archetype or your shadow side, and eternal love is going to be the positive side. So what I want you to do is just take a moment to tune into what it is that what your intention is for today. And just as you tune into your intention, bring into your consciousness and awareness your own personal victim and your eternal love quality. And then what I want you to do is scan through the room just to see where, if the victim were to be inside your room right now, where would the victim be? And just take note of that. And also scan through and say, in the room, where would eternal love be? Now, you are currently sitting in your own position. You are you. But what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to ask you to actually move to the victim location. So what you'll do is you're going to move yourself into the location where the victim archetype is, and you are then going to merge with the victim archetype, and I'll ask you a series of questions that I want you to really feel into and just blurt out whatever the first answers are for yourself. If you have a journal or something, you may want to write those down, maybe even pause between all the questions. And then we'll bring you back, and then we're going to go into this location of where the eternal love is. So if you are going to do this, do not just sit in one spot and listen to this. Even if you just move 5 centimeters to the one side and 5 centimeters to the other side, but you want to actually move out of your current location when we work with the victim and when we work with eternal love. Okay, so are you ready now that you know what we're going to be doing? So you are the center point, and then we're going to take our archetypal positions. Okay, so you know where you are, you know what your intention is. Let's find out what the victim can teach you about your situation, your issue, and how we can work through that. So allow yourself to move to the victim location within your space. Sit down or stand or lie or however position the victim would take in that space. And just allow yourself a moment to drop into that space. And also, if you need to pause at any point, just pause the recording. So my first question to the victim is, what can I call you? What is your name? How long has this victim been present within your life? What role does this victim play in your life? Does the victim make you feel empowered or disempowered? What does the victim think of the archetype of eternal love? What does the victim think of you as a person, as a whole? Does this victim archetype have any guidance that it might present in this moment? Will this victim archetype help in your healing and forgiving of people and situations in which you have been involved, which have not been resolved yet? And it's okay if the victim says yes or no. We'll respect that, whatever the answer will be. Any other messages that the victim has for you right now? Okay. Let's come back to your original location within your space. Again, pause the recording if you need to. And just spend a moment to reflect on the answers that you received from the victim. Now, as yourself, were those answers that you would have thought of? Is it something that you would have said? Did it feel different? Is there anything that you can sort of take home from that? I'm not trying to heal any parts here. We're not trying to negotiate anything. All we want is we want the victim to say its say. We want the victim to have a space and a platform to express itself. And then we respect what it has to express. Okay. And you can go back to the victim location if you want to, if you've got any specific questions that you want to ask. Perhaps a good idea, write the questions down in your journal or in your book, and then move to the location where the victim sits, and then answer those questions as the victim, and then come back and read those answers as yourself. Okay, so you feel free to do that if you want to dive a little bit deeper into that. Also, now that you know your victim's name, use the victim's name when you refer to it during the session. When you're ready to continue, we are going to move into the location and space where the eternal love would be located. So take up the position where eternal love is within your space. Sit, lie, stand, however you feel, whatever posture you feel eternal love would take. My first question to eternal love is, what can I call you? What is your name? How long has this archetype of the eternal love been present in your life? What role does the eternal love archetype play? And what does it want for you? Does this archetype of eternal love empower you or disempower you? What does the archetype of eternal love think of the victim? What does the archetype of eternal love think of you as a person, as a whole? Does the eternal love archetype have any guidance or advice to offer you, or any information to offer you in the present moment in relation to your intention? And will this archetype of eternal love help you in the healing and the forgiving of people and situations with which you have been involved with that are still unresolved? Again, it doesn't matter whether the eternal love says yes or no. We respect his or her choice. If there's any specific questions you want to ask eternal love, you may do so now. But I do suggest if you've got your own questions, a good idea is to come back to your central position. So let's hold that for a moment. Let's come back to your own position, back to yourself. Let's just find a moment to reflect on the answers that you received from eternal love. Again, we're not negotiating with eternal love. We're not trying to heal it. We're just wanting to give it a space where it can express itself. And we respect all the parts that we bring through. Again, if there's any other questions that you want to ask eternal love, I would suggest in your current location, write those questions down. Then move it into eternal love location and answer those questions. And then come back, if you've written them down, read them back as yourself. Okay, so if you need to take a little bit more time here, pause the recording. And then come back into your own space and just reflect one last time on any insights that you received by speaking to these two archetypes. And reflect on what you've learned from that. What have you gained? What experience have you gained? Okay, so next we're going to move into some forgiveness work. So close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And imagine or visualize yourself in a favorite place, a safe place. This could be a real or imagined place. This is your own personal safe space. No one else can come into the space unless you invite them in. So for now, it is just you in your safe space. See this place, feel it, experience it, hear it, touch it, taste it. Using your unlimited power of your mind to make this place as real as possible. Now visualize yourself surrounded with a cocoon of light. This cocoon is protective. And it also creates a sacred and safe space around you to work. Now we're going to invite in all of the people who have inflicted hurt upon you. And this could be from recent times or from a long time ago. It may even be people from past lives. And I want you to line them up. They have to obey. They must comply. This is your safe space. This is your sacred space. And because they have been invited in here, they have to do as you say. So I want you to turn to the first person that's in line. Hold them by the hand and look deep in their eyes and say to them, I know you. I know who you are. I know that you are a soul like me. I know that you are here to play a role, to play a part in my life. And I know that for you to play this part, you have to fully stay in character, or else I will not receive my experience. Thank you for playing your role so well, because the only way that you can do this is if you love me dearly. I understand that and I can see that. I know that you are a soul, and I know that you are here to play that role, to allow me to have this experience, and I thank you. I love you, and I forgive you, and I let you go. If you want to, you may give the person a hug, and then release them and send them on their way. If there are other people in the line, you're going to do the same process with the next person, and the next, and the next, until they are all gone. If you want to, you may even rewind this little piece, the text that I've just spoken, to repeat that with the other people in line. And you continue until everyone in that line or everyone in front of you have all been forgiven. Pause the recording if you need to. Once all have been forgiven, you look to the side and you see a group of blank-looking faces. And these represent anybody that you may have hurt. This is consciously or unconsciously, or as a result of being hurt by your experience. And look towards this group, and in your mind you ask their forgiveness. They will understand. And as their higher selves witness this, they will also forgive you. And once they have forgiven you and you have forgiven them, send them on their way. And next, you turn around and you see yourself standing there. Take your own hands and you look deep in your eyes. And you tell yourself, I see you. I know who you are. I know that you are a soul I know that you are playing your role and you're playing your part perfectly. Thank you for that. Thank you for playing your role so perfectly, for so fully staying in character, so that you help others receive their experiences. Experiences that you have promised them that you would give them within this life. Thank you. I love you. And I forgive you. And then give yourself a hug and allow your other side to merge and meld into you and into your heart area. You are free. You're free from this day forth. And take a deep breath in and hold and exhale. Firmly plant your feet into the ground just to anchor the work. And then we'll balance it all in with some eye rotations. So ring finger to thumb, using index finger and middle finger to tap behind the ears in the mastoid process. So if you take from the earlobe to the back, there's a little rounded bone, you're going to tap over there. Eye rotation, so looking up, diagonal up to the side, diagonal down, down, diagonal to the side, diagonal up and up, reverse diagonal up to the side, diagonal down, diagonal all the way down, diagonal down to the side, diagonal up and straight forward. Okay. One more little thing that we want to do, and this is going to be a short session just to release any trauma that you may still have in your auric field. Now, this is the pose that you are going to take. This is the best picture I could find, but it's actually quite an appropriate picture. So you want to stand with your arms outstretched, palms to the front, and you're going to just stand in a comfortable position. You're going to do this throughout this mini session. And while you're doing that, you want to open your heart and actually imagine that you beam your heart in front of you while I'm doing this work. We are releasing any traumas or anything that you feel in your life. So actually get my chair out of the way. Let's lift this a little bit. So what you want to do is you are going to stand in that position. Literally, you're going to be like Mother Mary. Open up your heart and you're going to beam out in front of you everything that you are feeling right now. So just tune into your heart space. And you are going to use sentences like I feel. So it could be I feel fear. I feel anger. I feel sadness. I feel whatever. Or I feel sad when this and this happens. I feel angry when this and this happens. Using any sentence that comes to mind with I feel. And you are going to continue with that. So I feel statements. And while you are busy with that, I am pulling these out. So using I feel. I feel. Don't judge whatever it is that you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel those feelings. Say them out loud if you can. Otherwise, just allow yourself to say it in your mind. Maybe I feel confused. I feel fear. I feel anger. Whatever it may be. Don't judge what comes up. Allow yourself to feel them without judgment. You may find that if you started with a whole bunch of lower or dense frequency energies, that they may change along the way. They start feeling more positive. But don't force this. Allow yourself to just feel whatever emotions you feel and release those. Even if you repeat yourself, maybe I feel fear. I feel fear. I feel fear. I feel worry. I feel excitement. I feel fear. You may find that certain emotions will cycle you back to other emotions. So just keep going with your feelings. Another minute or so. If you still need to work through these emotions, you may pause or even rewind this section. Just allow yourself to work through those emotions until you get to a space where these emotions are positive and light, and this is the best that you can feel in this now moment. Still standing with your arms outstretched. Repeat after me. I am more than this body. I am more than this mind. I am safe. I am loved. I am loved. I am free. I am more than this body. I am more than this mind. I am safe. I am loved. I am loved. I am free. I am more than this body. I am more than this mind. I am safe. I am loved. I am loved. I am free. You may take a seat again. I'm just going to reintegrate everything using eye rotations. So ring finger, index finger together. Eye rotations looking up, diagonal up to the side, diagonal down, down, diagonal down to the side, up, diagonal and up to center, diagonal up, side, diagonal down, side, down, diagonal down, side, diagonal up and done. Eye rotations are very powerful. What we're doing is like taking a Word document and doing a search through a whole bunch of Word documents actually and saying, find all of these things and let's change them. So the different eye rotations looks at, or the different directions we look at, accesses different parts of the brain. Okay, so as always, I like to select a Soma bottle. And today's bottle that came up is bottle 31. I think we may have had bottle 32 in the next session. I don't know. It could be someone else's balance, but I remember vaguely that bottle 32 came up somewhere. So this is a green over gold. This particular bottle is called the Fountain. And this is all about overcoming deep irritations. I'm not going to go through all of the text for this bottle, but things that sort of pop out as I'm looking at it is it's all about maintaining a relationship of heart with other people, and it's like putting sunshine back into our hearts. It's about finding our inner happiness. It's about opening our doors to our inner prisons, whatever conditionings we've had and whatever held us back. This is to open those doors. So I will place all the text for this one in our underneath the video. But the affirmation for this particular bottle is, I let go and find sunshine in my heart. I let go and find sunshine in my heart. I let go and I find sunshine in my heart. And finally, to finish off, I want to find our story for this session. So what is our opportunity? This is our opportunity card, 13-4. What is our solution? So solution is the homework that we need to do. And what is the success? What do we receive when we do this homework? So let's start with our 13-4. 13-4 is all about healing. It's our teaching card. It's associated with wisdom. It's got a love and a nurturing and a calmness to it. It's a very positive energy, very idealistic. And it's a mothering quality. So it's really like a space for holding. It's also associated with abundance and also generosity with that. So as you receive, you are generous in return as well. Then our solution card is the 18-9 card. So this is going to be what you have to do for our homework. Now, 18-9 is all about taking your power back, claiming your power. It's about traveling. It's also about decision making, and it's about meeting your goals. So whatever goals you set out for yourself, you want to be able to meet those goals. It is about travel. So this could be actual physical travel, or it could be internal travels. So it could be like astral traveling, or it could be about traveling, maybe your psyche, maybe traveling between your archetypes, having conversations with those archetypes. It is also about speaking your truth and about having a self-belief in who you are and what you can do. The affirmation that goes with the 18-9 is, I open my spiritual sight to the wonders and multifaceted nature of creation. I see deeply the holy essence of one and all. I see the light. So again, I will add all of that information in underneath this video as well. So our result that we have, the 16-7. So if we do this homework of the 18-9, what it will lead to is determination and independence. This is all about being real, being completely fully real and authentic, stepping into your own true authenticity, opening your heart to people and allowing people in. Now, when it comes to authenticity and vulnerability, I'm not saying be vulnerable to the entire world. You choose who you want to be vulnerable to, but it allows you to step into that vulnerability with the people that you want to be vulnerable with, and open your heart and be authentically and truly and honestly and openly you. If people love you for that, they love you for that. If they don't love you for that, they're not the right person for you. This is all about being open-hearted. It's also about connecting and networking and connecting with the right people, bringing the right people in to do the jobs that you need to do and the paths where you need to go. So it's all about that space where you can facilitate and hold space for others, but also to network so that they can perhaps hold space for you. So very, very nice energy to have over here. I also drew another final card from the angel deck, and the angel of honesty came up over here. And again, I'll leave this up on screen so that you can read this. So when I'm honest with myself, I feel the security and the support of my soul in my mind and my heart. So what I want you to do is close your eyes. Place one hand on the back of your head, one hand on your forehead. So you might want to open your eyes just to see what I'm doing. And once you've seen what you have to do, close your eyes. And I want you to visualize or imagine yourself in a future where you have acquired all of these new resources. You are completely free of all of the limitations. Take all the insights that you've gained in today's session. So this is from your archetypes, also from the cards that we've drawn. And visualize yourself having cultivated this personal power, having completely stepped into who you are as a being. See yourself traveling freely, whether this is physical travel or whether this is internal travels, emotional travels, astral travels. See yourself completely speaking your truth and completely believing in yourself. Knowing that whatever you put your mind to, you can put your mind to, you can do. Trusting your intuition, trusting your inner guidance. So just see and feel yourself completely embodying that. What does that feel like? What does that look like in your life? And then when you're ready, we're going to do eye rotations to get this all into place. So ring finger, tap behind the ears, look up, diagonal up, to the side, diagonal down, down, diagonal side, side, diagonal up, and up, reverse diagonal, side, diagonal down, down, diagonal down, side, diagonal up, and up. Close your eyes, look up, diagonal up, side, diagonal down, down, diagonal down, side, diagonal up, and up. Reverse direction, diagonal up and side, diagonal down and down, diagonal down and side, and diagonal up and back to center. And then you may open your eyes. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to place in underneath the video, I'm going to place some homework and support for you, and some crystals that you can use. And then that is today's healing session. So I hope that you have gained something from this, some insights, some inspiration. And so let's just take a moment again to look at this image. And this time our intention is that we want to disconnect from this. Remember the connections that you formed to the source, to the heart of the earth, and to the center of this image. And just imagine all of those connections are dissolving. Perhaps pull them back into you, coming back into the space. And just firmly plant your feet into the ground. And then you're back in the space. And that concludes our session for today. So I'm sending you lots of love and light, and then I'll see you in our next session. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful 8-8 portal, Lionsgate.